Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all, so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, my juice little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Yes, they are, aren't they? A lot of yellow, mellow yellow. Okay, my delicious babies. Do you remember that advert? As in mellow yellow. Forgot what flipping advert that was now then, my delicious babies. I'm going back decades ago. Anyway, my delicious babies. So it's almost 4 p.m. in our old England this evening, my delicious little babies. And so I'm a little bit late doing my video today. Okay, my little beautifuls. Now then, we've had a proper grey sky almost all day. Well, it's not almost. It has been flipping all day. It's been, if it's raining, so it's been raining, and it's rather chilly. Okay, my delicious little babies. So that's the weather forecast in my neck of the woods in old England. Hopefully the weather will be super duper wonderful and delicious wherever you are in the world, my little beautifuls. Okay. Now then, so what have I got for you today? Yeah, so I've been able to put some to say thank you, on some of the videos that I've been watching, okay? And, well, at the moment, there may have been a delay, with some of them, okay? But I have managed to do that now, okay? I don't know when they're going to do this again to me, but anyway, never mind. There's no point, just keep going on about it, is it? Do you know what I mean? Right now then, my delicious babies. So the first one, my delicious babies, I've got rather a mixture today, my delicious babies, okay? And the first one, and this come back up on my feed. Now, the thing is, right, is that I haven't, just before I say anything else, what's his name? Who's that racing driver? Is it Lewis Hamilton? I've seen a video. Is it on a Carl Vernon Talks? I never clicked on it because what it is, I was just trying to get these out because I saved them so I could write them all down. A few delicious. So he appeared in 10 Downing Street. I'm not sure if I was just seeing things now. Well, what's going on in our old England got to do with motor racing, my delicious babies? I'm just not too sure what the connection is. Oh, it's flipping bucketing down now, my delicious. Oh, I've got my flipping washing out, my delicious little babies. Oh, I'm not going to stop my video now. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do, if they're too wet, they're just going to have to go on another wash, my delicious little babies. Oh, gosh. Anyway, because it's only stopped for a short time, my delicious little babies. It flipping starts up again, do you know what I mean? Anyway, not to worry. Nothing we could do about it. Anyway, they say, the old-fashioned saying is, my delicious little babies, if you walk out in the rain, well, then you're walking out in prosperity. Okay, my delicious little babies, that's just a very, 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 very decades old old-fashioned saying, my delicious little babies, okay? And actually, it's pretty true. Because usually follows, there we are, some form of good luck. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Now then, so this came up on my feed, my delicious babies, and I do not know what this is about yet anyway. I'll have a look on Carl's, and with anybody not in that way, I'll have a look on Carl's. It's only about just over 3 minutes. I'll take a look when I've done my video to all of your beautiful little selves, my delicious little babies. Can you hear it? Raindrops keep falling on my head. Right, okay. This uploader happens to have 741,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies. They're all on YouTube today, my delicious little babies, okay? And then there's just one more that I just wanted to advertise, which is on a different website, my delicious little babies. This is all lowercase, okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So it's a lowercase v, lowercase z, and a lowercase c. So it's all together 3 letters together, VZC. Okay, my delicious little babies, on YouTube. Okay. Now then, that's the uploader, my delicious little babies. Okay. And this came up on feed, and I don't say it's come back up on my feed. I was talking about another video. Sorry, my delicious little babies. Well, I've never seen this before. So for some of you, my delicious little babies, you may have seen something like this before, but for myself, I haven't. I've seen like where they make giant pizzas. You know, we heard a lot about the pizzas, didn't we, my delicious little babies? And that's not being sarcastic at all when I say that. But I've never seen like something like this now then, you know what I mean, okay? So it should read, I made a giant £220 Milky Bar. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? I made a giant £220 Milky Bar. You know, like that one with the blue and white wrapper, my delicious little babies. You know, like the, and it should say Milky Way. That one, my delicious little baby. You know, Milky Way. That one, my delicious little babies, okay? This video is just over, I think it's 15, just over 15 and a half minutes long, my delicious little babies. Yeah, it's amazing, you know, what they use, you know, and the ingredients. Well, there we are, just everything, really. It's just amazing, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so that one ticked off. Now then, my delicious little babies, so where are we? Let me see where I'm going. Oh, flip me. Can you hear this, my delicious little babies? It's really pelting it down, okay? Oh, I feel sorry for anybody who's got caught out in that, my delicious little babies. Now then, I'm sure that they'll have lots of prosperity, I'm sure. Now then, the next one, my delicious little babies. Now listen to this one here. This uploader happens to have 46.3 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. Now, the uploader's called capital L, love, and then space, capital R, reality. Okay, my delicious little babies, so that's the uploader. Love, space, reality. That's what it should read in the old space bar in YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? Now, this video should read, and I think, was this about a year ago or something? I think so. It's so ugly, rude, well, exclamation mark, my delicious little babies. I always put 2. Rude Brad destroys her own wedding cake. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? It's so ugly. Exclamation marks. Rude Brad destroys her own wedding cake. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now that doesn't mean no. This video, my delicious little babies, is over 9 minutes long, my delicious little babies. Now, what it is, I'm pretty sure for most of you, you will remember, is called Buddy. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, I seen him years ago. And it's where they make, these massive and colossal, from anything that's tiny to anything that's colossal, these special cakes, you know, like for special events or weddings or, I don't know, christenings or birthdays, you know, that sort of thing now, you know, in Born in the USA, okay? And, of course, he had himself quite a lucrative business, mind you. I did see some months ago now that was he having problems or something? I don't know, because something popped up somewhere on my feed, my delicious little babies. I wasn't sure if I believed it, actually. Do you understand what I mean? Anyway, because he was well known in America. Anyway, my delicious little babies. So, yeah, and I'll just tell you very briefly, where you got mother and daughter there. Okay, Mama Bear and, well, you know, they'll always be our little babies, won't they? Baby Bear. Well, Mama Bear wants to, get everything organised, but it appears that Baby Bear well, does not appear to be too happy about this, my delicious little babies anyway. So the mama bear wanted this sort of white or ivory fondant cake. Okay, my delicious little babies, so many tears, whereas the daughter wanted to get married in a desert. Okay, my delicious little babies in a desert. With virtually nobody there, just herself and her boyfriend or fiance. And what she also wanted was not a white or ivory cake. What she wanted was a black cake. But it was clearly pointed out to her that, that a black cake is not suitable for a wedding. It's more like a type of the words was on the video, a funeral, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so the long and short of all this, my delicious little babies, you need to watch this. I mean, for some of you, my delicious little babies, you may have watched it, but I personally haven't, because I haven't seen anything to do with Buddy's channel or anything for years and years and years. Okay, my delicious little babies. So anyway, your woman there is getting married now. We say that she's not a very happy little bunny. But, bunnies can be very cute, can't they, my delicious little babies? But, of course, if they feel a little bit frightened, they'll either run away from you or, if they really feel frightened, they can bite your finger. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies. Anyway, but I wouldn't say she was cute like a bunny, no. So she went in, she ring, ring on the old dog and burn, and she wanted to come and look at a cake the day before her wedding. Okay, my delicious little babies. So anyway, so Buddy said, okay, well, she wants to come in, to come and have a look. Send her up. So she took a look at the cake and she said, it's ugly. Now, your man there, Buddy, has stood there just as it would be any one of his other staff, or anybody for that matter, who bakes cakes and does all the designing. Because it takes a lot of, time and effort to do. And I happen to know professional cake makers. Do you understand what I mean? And they are professionals at what they do, okay? And they will usually always use, the ones who I know anyway, will always use the very expensive ingredients, okay, my delicious little babies, which even means importing cream, from another country, okay, my delicious little babies, okay? And, but because it's so expensive to buy everything, you know what I mean? It's really hard to, get a business off the ground, with the price of everything, you know what I mean? Because everything's just doubled, my delicious little babies, okay? But yeah, I happen to know some very, professional cake bakers, okay, my delicious little babies. So I could just imagine what their birth races would be. If somebody came and done that, my delicious little babies, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be feeling as nice as dear Buddy there now then. Do you know what I mean? Not in that way, not in that way. Do you see what I mean? So Buddy went away around the corner. He must have only been gone, a minute. And in that time, this little madam now then, okay? Well, actually, I'd call her a little, bitch, because that's all she is now then, isn't it? She went and got squirty, like what you squirt on cakes, different colours, bright colours, and started squirting the cake that had taken dear Buddy, hours to make. Okay, my delicious little babies. So anyway, he said, I do not appreciate what you've done. He said, can you please go? And she said, well, I want my cake. I want another one made for tomorrow. I thought, you cheeky little bitch, you know what I mean? I thought if it was myself, my delicious little babies, okay? I don't mean it nasty. Do you know what I mean? And usually for anybody who knows me, I'm usually very friendly, very caring. You know what I mean? I'll always give, not in that way, not in that way. I'll always give somebody a hug and, you know what I mean, a kiss on the cheek and that, right? Okay? And I love animals and I love mankind, but like I said, not in that way, not in that way, okay? But you know what I would have done? I would have thought, well, seeing as she's effed up my cake anyway, that I've just so very kindly made, yes, you're getting paid a ching. You know what I would have done? I would have took the first tier part off then I would have took the second one now and have rammed it straight in a buttress. That is what I would have done to her. Do you know what I mean? But of course, dear buddy now, he's a gentleman, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Martin baby's okay. But I mean, say if you had been a woman Kate Baker, a lady Kate Baker, you know what I mean? She wouldn't have got off my premises without me just ramming it in a buttress. Do you see what I mean, okay? That is blatantly taking the effing pee, man. You need to see it, seeing it, sorry, Mads baby as well. I'm stumbling there, do you know what I mean? He's believing. Something else she mentioned that was interesting. She said that, you know, her shoes are purple. What was it, with a blue sole? It's the things that she said. And what did she say as she was walking away? Because she wanted the cake another cake made, right? She said, have you got it now? Or something like that. Right? So what's my point to all this? And I don't want to continue on with that any longer, Mads Lishtik babies. What I would say, she's got a, there we are, severe problem with a mama bear, it seems, being number one. I would also like to say that she comes across to myself, there we are, as a very spoilt little bitch. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? This is what you get, see. Now, believe you me, this is very real. And there are many of her type, there we are, around my delicious little babies, okay? So there's that. Number 3, I clearly feel, there we are, she seems to have some very deep-rooted issues, because when you look at her, it's like she's, how can I explain it? She's totally vacant. She's very vacant. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like looking through a pane of glass. There's something else, there we are, to do with her, there we are, and her family. I've no idea what it is, because it's the first time I've seen this mad delicious baby's cake, but there's clearly, there we are, something else going on now then. So anyway, fast forward. So then her mama bear gets on the old dog and burn, doesn't she? Starts blarting like titty lala, mim, you know, to ask Buddy to make another cake. But the point is, he never wanted to make one. And furthermore, neither did his staff. They said, we're going to have to work into the night. You see what I mean? Okay? So your young woman there now then had no consideration for how long that cake took to bake. And, you know, or for Buddy or for his staff, okay, had no respect whatsoever. I just would have said no. I do not care how much somebody goes, mim, you know, down the old dog and burn, blarting like, you know, like a titty lala. I would not have flipping budge 1 inch. Do you know what I mean? In fact, you know what I would have done as well, just to add good measure? I would have gone down to the venue with the remaining cake and I would have slapped it on the table and I would have said, keep your damn change now. Keep your ka-chink, chink, chink, because I don't want your money anyway. Do you know what I mean? That is what I would have done. I suppose, call me, you know, but no, you know, who should be allowed to go around and do things like that now then? Nobody should. You know, I mean, cake baking, just like cooking, there we are. It is a skill. Just like knitting jumpers, just like sewing, just like anything, just like building something. It is a skill, there we are, to do that. You know, then somebody just comes along and just does all that. You need to see, honestly, Mads Lishtik babies, I wouldn't have even usually mentioned a video like this, do you know what I mean? Because this is not usually what I would normally advertise, if you know what I mean? But you've got to see it, seeing it, there we are, is believing it. But if you look in the comments, Mads Lishtik babies, honestly, the comments, there we are, they just speak for themselves, you know what I mean? But in the end, he did, and his staff, bless them, you know, so we have to say, you know, bless them all. They ended up with making another cake. My delicious little babies, don't get me wrong. I mean, they were both pretty cakes, but I feel the second one was, you know, it sort of had a lot of colour, so it was very vibrant. But old Mother Bear now then, she was as happy as Larry. with this cake when it was delivered, okay? And Buddy wanted to take it himself, you know what I mean, okay? With his employee, or his, because mostly I think they're family, aren't they? That I remember from years ago. And then of course, Mama Bear was asking the baby bear, to come out and have a look at a cake. Do you know your woman there just completely blanked them? Blanked them. I mean, if you're a man now, I'm not being nasty, my sadistic babies, so to any dear men out there, to any dear gentlemen, not in that way, okay? Would you really like to marry a woman like that? Because I know that if I was your man there now, I would certainly, there we are, get on my back, there we are, and pedal as fast as I could. Do you know what I mean, my sadistic baby, okay? That is what I would be done doing. Do you know what I mean? Even come out of the country if necessary, just to get away from the little ring bitch. Do you see what I mean? Madly babies, right? But this got myself, me nodder, wondering. I thought, what kind of family are they? What's gone on here? Because I see something that we are very deep rooted. Okay, but I was paying attention to other things. There's something to do with that video. There we are, and I know what I'm talking about. Okay, and anyway, I'm just going to leave it like that, my delicious babies. I know that for some of you, my delicious babies, I know that you do your best to understand me the best way you can, but there was just something about what she was saying. And when she said, was it words to effect, you got it now? There's something else. And then Buddy went, yes, I got it. So what is it? There we are. Do you know what I mean? Yes, okay. It's just something, anyway, my delicious babies. I'm not saying that he's, nothing to do with her, like, you know what I mean? But there's something, I just couldn't put my finger on it when I watched the video. And I had to just click back on it, just to write it down just earlier, my delicious babies now. But certainly well worth a look at that video. And to any men out there, let me tell you, you would be flipping horrified. No joke. You know what I mean, okay? You see, I'm a mother myself now. And my beautiful baby daughters, well, they get on with their own lives. They do not need myself. I mean, I love them to my heart. Do you understand what I mean? They're beautiful. But at the end of the day, they live their own lives because they're adults now, okay? They do not need a mother hen, mama bear, to hold their hands. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so I do not regard myself as being very tough-minded, hard-minded. Well, actually, I can be when I need to be. There we are. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? But what I'm saying is, sorry, excuse me, I'm just not, how can I put it? I'm just not built that way. It could have been because, there we are, I was brought up with my dad. And of course, he was an ex-army man. Do you understand what I mean? So I was brought up very very polite with my manners, with everything, and to clean the home, to cook, clean, and wash, to do everything like that now then, right? And to have damn good manners, yes. But I was also brought up, I suppose, mentally hard in a way. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, okay. So I would not have been dancing around like your mother hen there. I personally believe that your bairns, you bring them into the world, 8 times out of 10 because you want to bring them into the world. There could be other situations with other dear women, dear ladies that, maybe there's a different situation. So I do not mean that nastily, my delicious babies, right? But generally speaking, you bring your beautiful little babies into the world. You make sure that they grow up, there we are, to the best that you can do. And then it's a case of, flying the nest. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? I've never been one to where you hold on. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? You must allow them, there we are, to live the way they want to live. So if any of my beautiful little baby daughters were getting married, I've got to be honest, I wouldn't, and I'm being truly honest now, my camera, my delicious little babies, right? I just take a step back. unless my opinion is asked, then I wouldn't say anything. Because at the end of the day, it would be my beautiful, there we are, daughter's day, isn't it? It's not my day. It's not anybody else's day. It would be my beautiful baby daughters and their dear husband's day. Do you see? But I've seen this so many times over the decades, Mards Little Babies, not only on the television decades ago, but also in real life, you know what I mean? The amount of, there we are, disagreements. Oh, well, do you really have to wear that colour, or do you really have to have that style of dress? Well, why? I just do not get it. As long as they are happy. If I was happy with someone, my delicious little babies, right, and I was going to get married, admittedly, I've got to be honest, I would not want a lot there. I'm just being honest, my delicious little babies, okay? If you wanted me to speak, which you probably didn't, but if you wanted me to, I may as well finish it now. If you wanted me to just finish what I'm saying anyway, right? If I was ever to get married, even if it's in, there we are, a bin liner, if you are happy with somebody, well, you wouldn't have a black bin liner to a wedding, would you, my delicious little babies? But the point is, what's the point I'm making? It would be my day, and it would be my future forever husband's day. So if somebody came up to myself, for an example, whether that be, you know, no offence to my beautiful little baby daughters, Kate, but even if my beautiful little baby daughters came up to myself and said, well, Mum, do you really feel that that's a good thing, you know, to dress in a black bin liner? So I would say to my beautiful little baby daughters, they know their mother hen. Believe me on that. And I would just say very politely, okay? They know I love them. You know I love you so, okay? They know that always, okay? The point of the matter is this. I would say, my beautiful little babies, do you clothe me, feed me, or pay my bills? And then they're more than likely to say, no, Mum. I say, well, then therefore, what you've just said to me is rather insignificant. So if I wish to get married in a white bin liner, bin bag, then I shall. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Okay, it's what's called, there we are, putting your damn foot down and not bothering, not being rude or disrespectful. And this goes to, if anybody said anything like that to myself, even if they meant well, even my beautiful baby daughters, anybody, do you know what I mean? Whoever said it to me, if they said that, as far as I'm concerned, it is my day, my future forever husband-to-be's day, and it's how we want to be, not how somebody else would want us to be. But this is where we see the problem in families, okay? And I'm pretty sure that for most, in anybody's lifetime, for anybody who passes my channel, you know, because I know that I have my beautiful dear little babies who always listen to me, so thank you for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments, okay? I'm talking about somebody who's maybe new to my channel, has never seen me before, you know? It is... what this is about is it's about whoever's day it is. It's not about a mother hen giving her input, father cock. Sorry, putting his input. Sorry, Marjorie, but I didn't mean it like that. Do you know what I mean? Okay, because you got a cock and a hen, haven't you, Marjorie? Sorry, Marjorie. Sorry, I do come out with some anyway. But the point is, I just wouldn't even bother. But you hear it so much, you know what I mean? Oh, well, why don't you have this colour? Why don't you wear these shoes? Why don't you have your hair like this? Why don't you have your cake like that? I would just say, you should just live and let live. And if somebody like her daughter there, this flipping little madam here, if she wanted to have a flipping cake, getting back to that video, if she wanted to have a black cake, let her have a flipping black cake. If she wanted to get married in the desert with nobody around, she should have just went off and just done it. The best thing to do now, if she really felt so strongly, and I do not mean this nastily, so I'm not sort of saying this to anybody else to do that, but I'm just saying, if the little madam there, the little bitch, felt so flipping strongly about it, why didn't she just tell nobody, there we are, and just go off and do it? You know, just like these over the decades have gone to, where do they call it now? Is it Gretna Green? And then there's another one in there in Las Vegas where they just go there. Because I knew somebody decades ago. They went and got married in Las Vegas. Yeah, and I'm going back decades ago now. I mean, they're not married anymore, Martin babies, okay? But the point of the matter is, yeah. See, somebody feels so strongly, just go off and do it. Why go and be done telling everybody? Or do you understand what I mean? But you know, this is more common, Martin babies, okay? There we are. Than what you would ever realise. But I just feel, what's the to draw myself to a conclusion? Whoever you are in the world, my little beautifuls, if anybody's getting married out there, okay, please just, you know, if you genuinely feel that you need help, maybe to make decisions with dresses, or maybe your husband to be, you know, with suits, you know, and so forth, things like this now then. You know, maybe talk to friends and family who've maybe got a bit of style somewhere. Do you know what I mean? To do that. But other than that, be who you are. Because you must remember, there we are, it is your day. It is not somebody else's day, just like I've just said about my beautiful 2 baby daughters. It would be their day, as long as, there we are, as long as my dear son-in-laws to be, there we are, would be wholeheartedly, to their heart, look after my baby daughters, you know, when they get married, bless the beautiful dear little souls, you know, because of career dear young lassies, okay, young ladies. Well, you know, as long as they never touch a hair on my baby's heads, okay, and as long as they treat them with the utmost respect, love, honour, trust, yes, okay, and put them on a pedestal and look after them forever, okay, my delicious babies, as long as they do that and they love my beautiful little baby daughters to the heart, I don't have any issue at all. They can get married in whatever venue. They can get married in whatever they want to get married in, whatever makes them happy, because it is there we are, it is their day. And whoever is invited, there we are, is a blessing to be invited to such a beautiful event. That's the way I see it, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? But that flipping damn little madam bitch there now on that video, there we are, she's damn flipping rank, man. And if I was the mother hen, I wouldn't be flipping paying a damn penny. No ka-ching from my flipping skyrocket. Not a chance. You know what I mean? But we have to see what's gone on over the years in the family. I suppose nobody will ever know, will they? Anyway, my delicious babies, because I always say, you know, there's usually no smoke without fire. That's just an old-fashioned saying, my delicious babies. Anyway, excuse me. Now then, oh gosh, this one here, my delicious babies. This one popped up on my feed as well yesterday, my delicious babies, so we just got to speed along. This uploader happens to have 24.6 thousand subscribers, my delicious babies. For some of you, you may have seen this, but for others of you, you're all so beautiful, you may not, okay? In the old space bar in YouTube, my delicious babies, it's just over 4 minutes long, okay? Capital W, Welsh, okay, space, capital P, Patriots. Okay, my delicious babies. So I'll just spell that again for you each. Sorry, say it out again for you. Welsh, space, Patriots. That's what it should read in the old space bar, my delicious babies, once you typed it in. It should read this video. How would you react if somebody did this to you? Okay, my delicious babies. So just repeat that again for you. How would you react if somebody did this to you? Okay, my delicious baby. So I just thought I'd break this up a bit, okay? Just to have a bit of a laugh here. So this video, right? So for those of you who would not have watched it, my delicious babies, you must watch this, okay? It's on YouTube, okay? You got your 2 young men now, okay? You men, you know, in the car, yeah, the brum brum wheels, yes? And then clearly, you can see the one, bless, but you cannot see the driver. So you can see the passenger, sorry, but not the driver. Had no need to stumble it. Basically, they've pulled into this quiet road, okay? Clearly to mind their own business. They're waiting for the owner of the house to come outside because they're doing painting and decorating, Mardelistic babies, okay? So this elderly man, right? I mean, what flipping planet was your man on now then? Flipping planet nanu. You see, for myself, at first, I thought, well, is this a wind-up? It still could be a wind-up, Mardelistic babies, I don't know. You'd have to make it out for yourself what your thoughts are, right? Okay? So your elderly man there is wearing this old bill, there's bright yellow, over him, his jumper, Mardelistic babies, okay? And he's asking you men here now then, what they're doing in the road. Then he's asking them, where they're going to, what house they're going to, okay? And then he said he's going to go to the house just to go and check, that is the truth. Anyway, right? They said, well, we're just in the road, we're just minding our own business, basically, minding our own business. So your elderly man there now then, he's got his sons. That's right, Mardelistic babies. He's got his sons. That's why I'm pretty sure that it's got to be a wind-up. He's got his sons, old Bill, police, jacket on. Okay, Mardelistic babies. It's like, like a bit like a body warmer, like one of those, okay? And so the fact in all of this is Mardelistic babies, right? Well, I mean, those two young men there now then was not doing any crime. They wasn't doing anything at all. They're just simple things, pulled up in their working gear to paint and decorate. And then they get this from this elderly man now then, right? But towards the end, the passenger, bless him, he said, are you okay? Okay. Because it's slipping crackers. I mean, if anything at all, Mardelistic babies, okay, who was committing the crime? Well, it's the elderly man, supposedly wearing his son's police body warmer. That's who's really committing the crime. It's not you young men. You need to see it, Mardelistic babies. But I thought to myself, is this a flipping wind-up, man? Do you know what I mean? Okay, because I thought this cannot be for real. It cannot be for real. But of course, I did send it out in my dog and bird, Mardelistic babies, okay, and I put 3. I don't usually like to use the emojis as such, like the smiley faces in that, right? But it also, the ones where you're flipping with laughter, you know what I mean? Ding, 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 do you know what I mean? Because it was funny. You've got to see the funny side of this, Mardelistic babies. It's hilarious. And even the one in the passenger seat, she says, you wanted to be a policeman or so, join the police, so you never made it, innit? It's so really funny. Mardelistic babes, you need to watch it. But I'm just wondering if it's a wind-up, like if it's a purpose thing. I don't know. You'd have to take a look yourselves, please, and thank you, Mardelistic babies, if you have any form of an interest. 2 more, and then I'm going to be over and out. So this one here, Mardelistic babies, this upload happens to have 639 subscribers, my delicious little babies. In your space bar, capital M, this is the uploader, 2 words together, motorhead, space, capital G, garage. Okay, Mardelistic babies, so I'll just repeat that again for you, okay? It should read in the old space bar in YouTube, once you typed it in, motorhead, space, garage. Okay, Mardelistic babies, this video, this is about over 46 minutes long, Mardelistic babies, I do believe. No. Is that one? I think these last 2 are about 40 odd minutes, I think, Mardelistic babies, okay? Pretty sure they are. Unless the last one's 26 minutes something. I know. I think it's that one. I think that's 26 minutes something. The last one I'm going to advertise. And then this one here is 46 minutes something. Anyway, you should read, Mardelistic babies. Bob Lagar, unseen interview with Don Garlitz. And then in brackets, 1997. Okay, Mardelistic babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you. Bob Lazar, unseen interview with Don Garlitz. in brackets 1997, my delicious babies, okay? So that's, you know, a lot of years ago now, isn't it, my delicious babies anyway? So, yeah, if you scroll down in the comments, my delicious babies, there's somebody who's actually under the name, you know, like on Mia Tara Virgo, like that. Well, he's actually put, and he looks like he's Bob Lazar, and he put, what did he say? I've never seen my interview, or I've never seen this interview, and his name is Bob Lazar. Okay, my delicious babies, because looking at some of the comments, I scrolled down a bit further, and I thought, but why would somebody put, I've not seen, or I've not, I can't remember now. I've not seen this interview, sorry, stumbling there, of myself. Something like that. Words to effect like that, my delicious babies. I just thought there we go, it was rather odd. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've got all this, you know, AR now, so I don't know. My delicious babies anyway. What's this about, my delicious babies? Area 51 and all that, my delicious babies, okay? I talked a lot about this to do, they're called, on old YouTube, my delicious babies. I advertised them good 3 years ago now. Exploring space with space farters. Exploring with farters. On YouTube, my delicious babies, they should at least have about 400,000 subscribers now, I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked at them for months and months and months and months, but they're banging, they are, because they go out to different places. And one of the places where they did go, there we are, was Area 61. But Area 51, sorry. My delicious, Area 61, sorry. Area 51, but they couldn't get anywhere near it, okay? Because you had security and everything, yeah. My delicious babies, yeah. Now then, and then finally, okay, so this final one, and then I'll just leave you with it. It's just, you know, all I'm basically doing is just giving out videos that I feel that we are is rather interesting. And I do not particularly, to be honest, know a lot about Bob Lazar, but I have seen this other doctor a few times who I'm just about to mention now. And this is on YouTube, my delicious babies. This uploader happens to have 235,000 subscribers, my delicious babies, okay? And this came up on my feed as well, my delicious babies. And in the old space bar, capital M, Murtech. So I'm just going to spell that out for you. Capital M, T-E-C-H, Murtech. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, this one, I think this one's just over 26 minutes long. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, my delicious babies. Sorry, I've got one more. This should read, okay, the doctor who proved we live in a simulation. Now, I tell you who else has been talking a lot about simulation is our lovely, not in that way, our lovely David Ark. He's been talking a lot about this, my delicious babies, over these years now, okay? And so I'll just repeat this again for you. The doctor who proved we live in a simulation then vanished. Yeah, because this dear doctor, okay, just very, very, very quick. This dear doctor, bless him, I do believe did his mammy bear, she passed away when he was 12. Anyway, and he wanted to find out things anyway. So what was he was a psychologist and other things anyway, but he got talking to this psychic surgeon. She was a psychic surgeon, so she was like a psychic spiritual surgeon. Okay, my delicious ways. And whenever the authorities were on her case, there we are, she'd just disappear, vanish out of nowhere. And then when everything calmed down, then once she'd resurface, then you'd see her. Okay, my delicious babies. Well, anyway. So this is sad, but this doctor here, Jacobo, okay, he vanished. I think at this point anyway, this video, it's been 29 years. Our delicious little babies, okay. Very interesting, there we are, video to listen to, but I have seen him, there we are, a number of times, there we are, over the years. on other videos. So what I find really strange, and I've never clicked on it or anything like that, is why all of a sudden now these have popped up on my feed. Do you know what I mean? Okay. But that's, I don't know, just a thought anyway. I mean, I know that they tend to, listen to everything and watch what you watch, and do you understand what I mean? Yes, and pick up on things now, okay? But what I'm saying is, I haven't had anything like this for months and months and months, and I'd probably say months and 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 months. My delicious little babies. Finally, I've just got to tell you this, sorry. On old YouTube, now, dear Wayne, bless him, is up to 11.8 thousand subscribers. My delicious little babies on YouTube. Capital W in the order search engine. Wayne, space Leighton. Learghton. Wayne space Leighton. That's how it should read, my delicious little babies. That's the uploader, okay? I did mention him some weeks ago, so I'm super duper deliciously pleased that his numbers have shot up. There we are, and so they should. Well done to you, dear Wayne, and that's not being patronistic, my delicious little baby. Not in that way. Good on you, and bless you always, okay? Video should read, this is just over 20 minutes long, 21 minutes, long. I've just listened to it this afternoon. Update on the council tax High Court case. Okay, my delicious little baby, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Update on the council tax High Court case. Okay, my delicious little babies, now I'm going to close my book, yeah. So what dear Wayne's doing, and like I said, not in that way, okay, and he's just come back up on my feed, okay, bless him. Bless you, dear Wayne. I've just put blessings to him as well in the comment. Well, he's explaining about what's gone on. Sorry, no need to stumble here. What's gone on at the High Court. Anyway, but dear Wayne, bless him. It appears that there we are. He was catching them out. There we are, left, right, and centre. There we are, my delicious little babies. So anybody who wants to listen to anything concerning their, I wouldn't say poll tax then, well, it sort of feels like it, doesn't it, my delicious little babies? Okay, they just changed the name from decades ago. The point is the council tax, okay, and you want to follow dear Wayne. That's his channel there that I've just mentioned on YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay, and there's also, I do believe he's given information to do with his Facebook page, okay, my delicious little babies, okay, because it is very important, this is, okay, it's like I said, it's like, it's just teeth in ka-ching, isn't it? That's basically what this is, it's teeth in, it's tea leaving, my delicious little babies, okay. And what dear Wayne does, bless him, there we are, he highlights things, but it's even better when you hear somebody, there we are, who knows what they're talking about. That really, really, really does sincerely help the situation. My delicious little babies. Anyway, so until my next video, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected. Okay? And how I love you also. I shall continue to love you also. Okay? Thank you so very much once again for listening, and we must continue to good vibrations. Good vibrations, my delicious little babies at all times. Positive mental attitude now. So, till my next video to you all. Love ya. Blessings. Thank you. Goodbye.